Hello friends, welcome back to another So Fontsy tutorial. I'm Lindsay. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's tutorial, we are going to be pressing heat transfer vinyl onto a hat without using a hat press. So a hat press is just a specialty piece of equipment that is designed to press HTV onto a hat. But I don't have that piece of equipment and you might not either. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you that it's actually very easy to press an HTV design onto a hat with fantastic results without using a hat press. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. So first off, you're going to need to cut and weed your heat transfer vinyl. So what I have here is my Silhouette Cameo 4 cutting out Caesar Easy Weed HTV. And the design that I'm using comes from the huge funny quotes bundle at So Fontsy, and I've put links in the video description for the supplies that I'm using for this project, including the bundle if you want to check it out. So I chose a funny quote to use for this project and cut out in 2 different colors of HTV. So after you've cut it out, go ahead and weed out the excess. And I love using Caesar Easy Weed because it does weed so nicely. And quick tip, even if you didn't cut the HTV on a mat, you can stick the HTV piece on a mat while you're weeding it. It holds it down while you lift up and weed out the excess, and seriously makes weeding a lot easier. Okay, now here's the hat that I'm using. The only thing I've done so far is taken off the tag, and I left in the cardboard that's in front. And I would recommend that you do that as well if your hat came with it. It just helps to give the hat a little more support when you're pressing it. Which is what you're going to need. Some support to press against. So, place some folded up towels inside the hat. That works great. Anything that is not heat sensitive that you can stuff inside the hat to support it, it's going to make it easier because besides heat, pressure is another necessary component of applying HTV. So with the more support behind the hat, you're going to be able to apply the required pressure. Now, since we're not using a hat press to apply this HTV, we're going to use an iron instead. And this is my home iron that I use for sewing, and it's huge, it's heavy. It works fine for clothing and fabric, but for a small hat, for a small project like this, it's so much easier to use a mini iron. So like the Cricut Mini Easy Press. It's a great option for smaller projects. There are other mini irons out there too that would work. And if you don't have a mini iron, you can still use your regular sized iron. Just the mini iron is just so much lighter and more easily maneuverable, so just very highly recommended. So go ahead and heat up your Mini Easy Press. I put the temperature at the medium setting. Another thing that's going to be very helpful is heat transfer tape, and this is tape specifically designed to be able to use with high heat. And just a few pieces around the edge of the weeded transfer will help to hold it in place. Now, the carrier sheet of the HTV is sticky, but it might not be sticky enough, and you really don't want that transfer slipping at all during pressing. So just a few pieces of heat tape around the edge ensures that it stays in place. And then you're going to just press the transfer in sections. Since the iron is not going to be big enough to cover the whole thing, you're going to start at one edge and just press the iron against the carrier sheet of the HTV. And with those towels behind the hat, you can, have something substantial to press against. Then move on to the next section after about 5 seconds or so. And this is just going to initially tack down that area so you can move on to the rest of the transfer. And then you can come back to each section and then press each section for about 10 to 15 seconds overall. And then go ahead and remove the carrier sheet. And a nice thing about HTV is that it's very forgiving. So if you see that when you're removing the carrier sheet and there's a spot that maybe didn't adhere for some reason, or you want to smooth out an area, just lay that carrier sheet back down, press that area again, and then completely remove the carrier sheet when you're done. Now, if this was your whole transfer, you'd be done, but it is a lot easier to work in smaller sections of a larger transfer. So consider cutting your large transfer into smaller parts so you can have more control and work in smaller areas at one time. And it just so happens that it worked out like this for this project because I did the 2 colors of HTV. So you're going to do just like what you did before, except now you have exposed HTV because you removed the carrier sheet from the previous press, and you do not want the iron to touch exposed HTV. It will melt, it doesn't look good, so you need to cover that exposed HTV back up. And you can use your heat transfer tape to reapply the carrier sheet, or what I really like to use is just a piece of parchment paper. Just make sure that it's covered up, and then go ahead and press the other part of the transfer just like before, working in sections, pressing each section for about 10 to 15 seconds or so. And then once you're done, completely remove that transfer sheet, and then that's it, my friends. Super easy and quick. It turned out great. No special hat press equipment, just an iron. Remember, you can use your regular home iron, but the mini Cricut Easy Press works so fabulously. And look at this hat. It turned out so cute, even on my little pup. And there's lots of different humorous designs in the huge funny quotes bundle at Fontsy. So there's a link in the video description because you got to check it out for a good laugh. So that's all there is to it, my friends. So grab your hat, your HTV, your mini iron, and the huge funny quotes bundle here at Fontsy, and you will be ready to start customizing some hats of your own with HTV. So thanks so much for watching, my friends. We'll see you in the next video, and stay crafty. Bye.